On the road out of Tetovo on the way to Gostiva, under the Shal mountain, there is the Dervish Arbat Baba or Sersem Ali Baba Teke. Albati Baba Teke was built in the second half of the 18th century by Redzep Pasha and his son Abdurrahman Pasha, who were also involved in the construction of the painted mosque in Tetovo and the Tetovo fortress. There is also a theory that says that Sersem Ali Baba was the one who began the construction of the Teke. The Bekhtishis lived in the Teke for 120 years. They learned the secrets of their cult, one of the most significant among over 20 known dervish cults. The dervishes are known for their particularly cherished cult towards the late Babas and Shays. Once a year, in memory of the Imam Hussein and his family that was slaughtered in Karbala, Syria, the dervishes have their religious service. The service includes a prayer with rhythmical music and movement, during which they mention God, sway from the left to the right, back and forth, and fall into a mystical trance. At the end, they poke themselves with needles and other sharp objects all over their bodies. The active dervish life in the Teke existed until 1912. In 1914, it was reintroduced and lasted until 1945, when the Teke was completely deserted. Ali Baba was the brother-in-law of Sultan Sulieman the Magnificent, and had been a high-ranking Baba in the important Dimitoka Teke, now in Didamoticho, when his sister, who was one of the Sultan's wives, fell into disfavor with her husband. As a result, Ali Baba was banished to Kalkandele, present-day Tetovo, at the outer fringes of the Ottoman Empire where he started his own Teke. Another version of the story goes that Ali Baba was an official of the Ottoman Empire who gave up his position in order to live the simple life of a Bakhtishi monk. Sultan Sulieman the Magnificent, angered by the departure of one of his favorite officials, yelled after Ali as he departed Istanbul, "If you will be a fool, then go." Sarsem, the old Turkish for fool, became Ali Baba's nickname thereafter. Whichever is the true story, the Turks favor the first one. Sarsem traveled the vast empire of Turkey until he came upon the river Pana in the tranquil mountains of Tetovo. There he settled until his death in 1538, quietly practicing the way of the Bektashi order. After his death, his only pupil to survive him, Albati Baba, founded a monastery in Tetovo to commemorate Sarsem's life. Present-day buildings were built at the end of the 18th century by Rexheb Pasha, also a dervish, whose tomb lies next to Sersem's in the Teke mausoleum. Not all the buildings are still standing today. In the courtyard was originally built to house the sick daughter of Abdurrahman Pasha. The reception inn is still in disrepair, although the library is being refurbished. One of the buildings has been turned into a Sunni mosque, but the inns around the Bekhtashi graveyard have been preserved for the Baba. The Teke in Tetovo remained the seat of the Bakhtishi until 1912 when the Ottomans were driven out of Macedonia. Although the Teke saw a small revival between 1941 and 1945, the lands were taken as state property during Yugoslav times and made into a hotel and museum. In recent years, however, the Bakhtishi order has regained access to the Teke and the site is being slowly refurbished. Although in considerable disrepair, it is still the largest and most well-preserved Teke in the Western Balkans. In 2002, a group of armed members of the Salafist Islamic Community of Macedonia, ICM, the legally recognized organization which claims to represent all Muslims in Macedonia, invaded the Albati Baba Teke in an attempt to reclaim the Teke as a mosque, although the facility has never functioned as such. Subsequently, the Bakhtishi community of Macedonia has sued the Macedonian government for failing to restore the Teke to the Bakhtishi community, pursuant to a law passed in the early 1990s returning property previously nationalized under the Yugoslav government. The law, however, deals with restitution to private citizens rather than religious communities. The ICM claim to the Teke is based upon their contention to represent all Muslims in Macedonia, and indeed, they are one of two Muslim organizations recognized by the government, both Sunni. The Shia Bakhtishi community filed for recognition as a separate religious community with the Macedonian government in 1993, but the Macedonian government has refused to recognize them. In March 2008, there were reports that the ICM members squatting on the facility grounds have taken control of additional buildings, have been intimidating visitors to the Teke, and have discharged their weapons on the grounds.